Good afternoon and welcome back to the YouTube channel of Old Bloke Crypto, where we have a very interesting day on February the 14th, 2024. And as I say in the graphic here, 2720 or 2470. What is it to be today? Will it reach either price level today? I think it might, and I'll describe to you where I think price is likely to go during the US session particularly, which starts in another 6 hours. I'm going to show you my reasoning behind that. Let's have a look on the 24-hour liquidation heat maps on Binance for ETH USDT. Let's have a look at our major level of attraction, which is 2665. Currently we're below 2650, so obviously that's likely to get hit very shortly, and you can see this little candle here to the upside, so it's not far away at all. And we've got, interestingly, over the course of today, this band here has faded out, and so liquidity is being moved around. It was very much like this sort of intensity earlier, about 8 hours ago, and now it's faded right back. But 2700 is still an attraction. Now, if that's on the 24-hour, that's what's come in the last day. Have a look at the weekly to see what's come in over the course of the week. Very interesting. And you've got this major liquidity band down around the 2470, which I was mentioning at the start of this video, so keep that in mind. Obviously, that would like to pull price down towards it, and a lesser band down here at 2400. So 2470 on the weekly, and you can see up here that lighter band back up at 2700. So you can see why I'm saying that you've got these two areas of pull that would like to pull price, and obviously there's greater liquidity down here. But remember, liquidity does move around, and it is not the end of the story. It's often used by market makers to draw price towards them before pulling bids and offers as well. So we'll just keep that in mind. Now, as I tweeted earlier yesterday about the PSAR, and it was pretty accurate yesterday, it topped out within a couple of dollars of where price actually topped and then reversed. So we'll see how accurate it is today. So looking at the hourly chart, and you'll see here with these blue crosses, it's been within a range most of the way through the day, and really for the best part of 24 hours, it's been in a range. A range is forming, shall we say. And so we've got quite a strong liquidity band down here, and a little one to the upside. Again, what I was saying to you before about that pull to the downside, quite a lot of pull to the downside. But the conditions have got to be right for that to be triggered and for a long squeeze to take that liquidity. So it's an indication that's on the 1 hour. Let's see about the daily, what it says on the daily. Interesting. Now, we've got this parabola, and hence the name, the PSAR, the parabolic stop and reverse. So once it goes parabolic, and this is the daily, remember, it's indicative that it is a strong push to the upside. So you can see the pushes and pulls to the upside and the downside. And let's have a look at these liquidity bands. Oh, 2720, the very top of it. Let's have a look at the bottom. 2164, which is quite interesting. That's below that 2400. But at the top of it, let's see, 2200. Interesting. So a little bit of difference there between 2127 and 2400, but you get the gist of it. If there is a pull to this direction, it's going to take out that 2400 level, which we were talking about here on the liquidity heat maps, and then it may continue on down to that 2100. That'd be worst case scenario. But again, you've got a big pull to the upside on the daily, and this parabola is forming. Now let's have a look at a more valid indicator, because as I've said previously, this looks at Binance, OKX and Bybit and amalgamates their data rather than just looking at Binance. Now let's have a look here. So we're on 2649, so 2650 again, and you see all this liquidity has cleared out. This is in the daily, and you've got a lot building up to the upside. Again, and look at this, there's 2720 right there, and look at all this liquidity that is built up here, all these shorts coming in, and we're pressing up against them, so we could get a short squeeze to 2720. And then look down here, where is this liquidity? Are we going to be down near the 2400? Let's have a look at 2400 down here. It really peters out. We don't even get to 2400. That's in the daily. Let's have a look at the weekly and see what that says in comparison. So note, there's a lot of shorts have come in the last 24 hours. And in the weekly, you can see that there is a lot more liquidity to the downside. So there's a pull to the downside. Where's that 2400 level? Around there. And so you've got a big lot of liquidity with some interesting spikes there. But you've also got up to 27. There's our 2720 odd. And look, there's quite a bit of liquidity there. So where are we going to go? Okay, we've got to make that decision. Do we take a trade to the upside? Do we take a long? Do we take a short? Do we sit on our position? Well, let's have a look. Okay, so we've got the EMAs, and you can see here we've come out of this range. Are we in another range? Well, it certainly looks like a range could be forming. And the only way to avoid that is to break out of it. So are we going to tap that 2720 and then continue on to the upside, or bounce back into the range? Well, have a look here at the EMAs. 50, well, we've got the 200, 50, 21 and 12 all lined up to the outside and spreading, a good indicator. On the daily, high time frame, good indicator, not the hourly. Hourly can be just noise, handy, but just noise at the end of the day for a high time frame trader like myself. Okay, so that's an indicator that price is wanting to continue to the upside. Very good. Let's look at King Bitcoin. Same thing. Now, see that you've got your 200, 50, 21, 12, all pointing to the upside. And yes, we had a bit of a pullback yesterday, but look at all these green candles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You can't get an innumerable number of green candles without getting a pullback at some point. And as the saying goes, you go up the stairs and down the escalator, and that tends to be true. And so not surprised that we had a breather yesterday from this big run up. We've had from down here at 42 up to 49.50, so that's nothing to be concerned about on the high time frame. But again, these EMAs are pointing to the upside. All right, let's have a look at ETH BTC, and it's nice. Yes, look, we had this spike yesterday, poking up above the 21 EMA. It could well continue as funds rotate out of Bitcoin into Ethereum and eventually the other alts. Very interesting, isn't it? How you can see we've got the little green candle today. Let's see if that builds and heads towards that 50 EMA and goes through it. We shall see. But it's nice at the moment. From an Ethereum trader perspective, it is nice that it's going towards the upside, but it's nothing to get excited about or write home about by any means whatsoever. So what is it to be? 27.20 or 24.70, as I said at the start of this video? Well, in my opinion, the price is likely to tag 27.20. After that, we've got two options. First of all, my option, and that is I'm going to close my long position. I'm then going to put a placeholder in, which will be 10 ETH. In case we continue to the upside, we penetrate this 27.20 yearly high and continue on to the upside, led by King Bitcoin, which could easily get to 52,000 before it has a correction itself. So 27.20 is my target. And then, if it reverses and comes back down, we'll see how it reverses, if it comes down in a wick or in a candle. But I've also got that hedge, don't forget. I've got a short hedge in place anyway, which may come into play. And we might get down to that. I don't think we'll get down to 23.90, which is the top of the previous range. I think if we do go to the downside, 24.70 is really that liquidity band is what's attracting it to the downside. You think of all those funds coming into Bitcoin with the ETFs, the pressure to the upside, essentially you've got supply and demand. There's less supply than demand, and it's a simple equation. It pushes price to the upside. So whilst that continues, the likelihood is of continuation to the upside with a cool-off, a correction, short-term correction, V-shaped to the downside, taking out that 24.70 liquidity that I was talking about down here, taking that out and then reversing to the upside. So that's where I am. I'm long and strong, expecting 27.20 to get hit during the US session. We shall see, and then we'll see where price goes. But as I said, close my long trade, place a placeholder 10 ETH long, and then watch where price goes from that. That's one of the advantages when you have a permanent hedge in place, is that you can sit back and just watch the price action without being too concerned, and you can let it develop and give you the direction. So we're always data led here, as you know. So this is Old Bloke Crypto with a not financial advice video. Please click the like and subscribe buttons, as I said before, and the notification bell, and I will talk to you again tomorrow. Thank you.